Hello, everyone. My name is Jane.
Gina.
This is my sister, Gina.
You don't need to introduce me.
Okay, yeah,
My name is
because
Gina.
you guys all know.
No, I mean, I can introduce myself.
Okay, this is terrifying.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. What a wonderful world.
So we did a challenge because I received an ice cream maker for my birthday from my Japanese Japan mission team. And we wanted to give an ice cream, like, as a gift, homemade ice cream, to anyone who asked us a thought-provoking question. And so we got all these questions. We got like 20 something. So I put all these questions in my hat. It says pray. That's upside down. And we're going to pick out the questions and take turns answering them.
We're going to answer all of it?
Yeah, but not all of it will make it into the video.
Oh. Don't be offended. Because, Jane will be editing, so, if you get caught out, then you know.
Are you seriously
cut you out?
Throwing me under the bus right now? Oh my. Let's go. You go. Okay, fine. What? I was going to ask you to go first anyway.
Then you go first.
Oh my god, you're the freaking jerk. Alright. First question. Stop
using that word right now on public TV.
Gosh. This is not public TV, Gina.
IGTV, whatever.
So embarrassing.
Alright, sorry. Edit that.
First question. What is your favorite childhood memory as sisters? What's going on?
I'm thinking.
That's such a bad thinking face. You look constipated. Yeah.
Alright.
You have to answer first because I asked a question.
Oh.
Sorry, I thought of all these rules and I didn't tell Gina.
It's fine. I guess I'll go. Favorite childhood memory. To be honest, I don't have like a favorite one, but the one thing that I do remember is when I would take Jane out with me whenever I would run away from home.
What? Can you explain?
Because I would get, yes, I know. I'm getting there. Because I would get mad at my grandma, I guess because she didn't cook me whatever I wanted to eat. I don't know what it was. I was spoiled, I guess.
Boy.
Exactly, forever fat. And so I'd be like, I'm gonna leave the house. And then I would take my little Carapy pillow. You know who Carapy is? That little frog from Hello Kitty, Sanrio, whatever. I would take my Carapy frog pillow and Jane with me. Make her put on a jacket if it was cold, and we would just go out of the house and sit right outside the door. And yeah, I would just sit there, like, how do you say "jodo" anja? In
like crouching, like kimchi squatting.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Jane would sit like that too. And if I guess maybe at first Grandma would be like, "Oh my gosh, are they really leaving?" But I was like 7, and Jane's like 3, and so she probably saw us out the window. And was just like, oh, they're still there. Whatever. And then I just went inside by myself, like with Jane. Obviously, I didn't leave her out there, but I would just go inside after a while. It was probably like 20 minutes. And I thought it was like 2 hours, but it was probably like 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Pick.
Oh gosh. The question, what is the most thought-provoking question, is the most thought-provoking question. That's not a question.
That was mean. Okay, well.
This was meant to be. Yeah,
I was
it
shaking
fell
the
on the
hat
floor.
and one fell out. Yeah. Alright, here we go. How big is the love of God for us? Why? Just why?
Isn't that from a song? How big?
How deep?
I think only God knows. With my human brain, I can only imagine. And because
I feel like because I'm so finite, you are too.
I think when I heard the question, the first song that came to mind was On and On by Housefires, where it goes deeper than any ocean.
Can you sing it?
No, not right now. Deeper than any ocean, higher than any mountain. And I feel like it's, as humans, we try to understand it in a way that we can understand.
See
or,
it.
Yeah,
Right.
in a way that we
Right.
can
Visualize.
visualize. But there's
Jinx.
nothing. Does that mean that I can't talk?
You already did.
Yeah, and so I think humans try to say, oh, God is like this, God is like that, but nothing in our language or nothing in our world can really encompass everything
Right.
of God.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like the same thing that I said, but
That's
in such
literally-
wiser words.
But literally the same thing.
Good vocab. Wow. I gotta read more. I think it's your turn.
I just read the How Big is God's Love for Us.
Oh. Sorry. Getting old.
Yeah. 31 this year.
Aw. What does your joy look like today?
That's a sweet question.
It's your turn, so. I'll drink my tea.
Actually, during quarantine, something that I've been really appreciating a lot is that we're getting to spend more time together. Because honestly, like Gina and I, like we don't get to see each other a lot or talk. Yeah, because we would just be out all day and then come back home and then we'll just knock out. But my joy looks like, I guess, this is so cheesy, but spending time with my sister today, because this is like what we've been wanting to do for a long time. I know. Actually, this is what she's been wanting to do for a long time. So that's my joy, spending time with Gina, making this video.
Yeah, I think me too. I was gonna answer the same answer.
Aww.
Aw.
Ew. What are we, E.T.?
No, we're Lee sisters.
Alright, next. Oh, I put two by accident. Okay. Last 3 meals and dessert on Earth. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Has to be food you've eaten before.
So for breakfast, I think, because I love breakfast food, I think it would have to be like waffles, eggs, and like sausage or bacon. So lunch would be like tteokbokki, sundae, kimbap, 족발, all that I can handle. You know, until I'm no longer hungry.
Oh my god.
And dinner would be steak, 삼겹살, 목살, what's the other one?
항정살?
항정살, 곱창, like 막창.
Wow, you're just gonna eat the whole animal. Every part of the animal.
All the types of meat. And then Korean chicken, fried chicken. Yeah. And then for dessert, I would have some pasta.
What?
Cause I could give up sweets. I just want food. Like real food.
Breakfast? I think I would. I don't know why, but maybe it's because my birthday was recently. But I want to have pop, rice, and seaweed soup, and then my mom's japchae. For lunch, I would go, if I could. I wish I could have this katsudon in Japan.
Not to mention tacos.
Okay, this is not your time right now. Katsudon in Japan is called Katsudon Zuicho. I'm butchering that so much. But in Tokyo, there's this really small place. There's like eight seats. just sitting at the counter, and it is like life-changing katsudon. Dinner would be, I guess I would do fried chicken too, Korean fried chicken, because that's actually one of my go-to faves. And for dessert, ice cream, any kind of ice cream.
Yeah. I would like to include tacos.
Okay.
People gotta know I like tacos.
Well, I'm
Wait,
glad
is it
you
my
guys
turn?
know now.
Oh, it's my
Yeah.
turn. Okay. If you had to give up one of your senses for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? So what are the senses again? Smell, taste, hearing, seeing.
Touch.
Oh, touch. Oh, I'll give up touch real quick.
Wait, what? You can't feel anything?
Like, if I go like this, I wouldn't feel.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Really? Huh. Well, one of my love languages is touch.
I know,
So.
and mine is like my love language. Like, touch came out 0.
Oh.
So don't touch me.
I think smell. Like, as long as I can taste stuff.
You know you can't taste as well without smell, right?
I know, but as long as I can taste it.
It's
Like,
not gonna be as tasty.
I know, but if I lose my sense of taste, then it's not going to be tasty at all. So I'd rather preserve that little bit of taste. No, I can't give up on touch because that's my love language. I can't give up on sight because I want to see people.
Yeah, and my child too.
And
Children,
yeah,
rather.
your children.
And then my parents.
And then my children.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And
God willing.
God willing. Hearing, because I love music. I can't. I don't want to give that up.
True that.
Yeah. Next question. Would you rather play devil's advocate for 1, Adolf Hitler, or 2, Judas Iscariot?
For me, is I already have the answer.
I mean, you have to go, so you should answer.
Oh, okay. Well, no judgment, right? I will play devil's, if I have to, devil's advocate for Judas.
Okay. Why?
It's been a little while since I've been thinking about Judas. Reading through the Bible, reading his story of how it ends. It had me think a lot about Judas's perspective. Yes, he's the traitor. Yes, he sold Jesus for 30 what? Silver. And apparently that's worth like $198, which costs less than my car lease a month. So
Wow.
I'm like, bro, really? But that was me before. But then one, I don't know. I guess starting with my studying mental health counseling and everything, and thinking about Judas as a human being, not a traitor, but like a human being himself, and someone who struggled with deep regret and depression that led to his taking his own life, and then how Luke describes his death in Acts. Wow. That made me really sad, because I just imagine like, oh, I wonder like if Judas had someone that he could have trusted from among the disciples, like a brother that he could have trusted, would he have gone to that point? Or would he have made that decision? Or if he did, could he have changed his mind and repented, just like Peter did, and gotten a second chance? I would take the devil's advocate for Judas. We all at one point love money and, can make mistakes and make wrong decisions. But Judas just didn't, he just did not choose to repent. Adolf, he could go somewhere.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Why are you calling him by his first name?
Oh, sorry, Hitler.
I mean, I agree. I think, well, I agree as in, like, I choose Judas too, because on one hand, like, the inclination and desire and greed for money is something that I can, like, relate with. But I don't think for Adolf Hitler, like, I would never, not never, but I don't think I could really relate with the inclination to create a supreme race.
Yeah, it's not real.
Like
it's not even worth like talking about.
Okay, sorry.
No, not for you. I'm talking about like, I'm just saying like, yeah, like his situation is like beyond discussion.
But really interesting question. I appreciate that.
I ask thought-provoking questions all the time, so I should just win. You're so cute. I know who you are.
Yeah, you're
cute.
not gonna win. You can choose another
See,
one.
that's what I'm saying. Like, she's gonna be cutting out people. That's not me. But it was super cute. Oh. If you each got to live as the other sister from her perspective, what's one thing about her you might start to appreciate more? This is good. I have a poker face on there.
No.
I know that you were writing all these questions down yesterday, so this is not the first time seeing these questions. So
Yeah.
I think you would have you should answer this first, like right now. You should have an answer.
Like right now?
I think you should have an answer.
And
then I'm gonna think about my answer after I hear your answer.
Okay. For me, so actually during quarantine, we've had some big fights. And I think some of them came from this disparity of Gina being the firstborn and then me being the secondborn.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking a lot about that. And the way that my sister thinks about my parents and the way they're going to retire and what's going to happen to them after they can't work anymore, like those thoughts and the burden of that, I always, because of my pride, I always thought like, I care too, like I'm thinking about it too, but I know my sister, even to a little bit, I know a little bit now that my sister cares way more. And it's like a bigger burden on her shoulders than it is on mine. And I think it has to do with that kind of disparity because, she was born first. And she's, so much older. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I think that would be something I would appreciate way more. And I think I'm learning more about that as we've been fighting and arguing.
Good. I think for me, it's gonna be very hard to think about this. I mean, I think that Jane has a lot of grace, and maybe it comes from my like hard-headedness. I don't know like what it is, or like the whole like the thing about me like loving black and white. This is right and wrong. Like that's the type of person that I am. So I think I would get that kind of fluidity and grace. Not get it, but I think I would appreciate that more, being in Jane's perspective. I don't know how she looks at things like that, because that's just not how I lived and how I live now. But that's something that I would like to adapt even now. Like not completely take away from how I am, but just kind of mix things together so that when it is necessary, I can have more grace.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I know.
That was really good.
Thanks, question person.
Thanks, question person.
If you're driving away from a hurricane in a car with 2 seats and you pass by a grandma, your lover, your best friend, and a child, who would you take?
I love how there's 2 people who are actually related to you, like your lover and your best friend.
What about your child?
No, it
Oh,
says
a
a
child.
grandma and a child.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I immediately thought the child was mine.
Oh no!
I'm a lover of all children.
She is. She loves children. Dad's
2 seats in the...
doing the vacuum.
You heard that?
Don't ask them.
Wait. So in this question, right, it says in a car with 2 seats. So am I occupying one of the seats?
Yes, because you're driving.
Sorry. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, good.
You're driving away from a hurricane, which is horrifying.
It is horrifying.
You have to take one man.
Yep. It is
Woman,
also horrifying
person.
because I don't know how to drive, so...
So this question can't apply to you.
No, okay. If I knew how to drive, or when I learned how to drive
Yeah, exactly.
away from a hurricane, I would choose the child, even though that child may not be mine, because I feel like for the best friend and for the lover and for the grandma, like they have lived life at least a little bit to know like how good it is or something like that. But the child has just like began his or her life, and so I would want that person to experience more. Hopefully is a good person, like they grow up into a good person, but I guess that's not in my control unless I have to raise this child, which the question doesn't ask. But
I guess that would be up to you. If the child loses their parents, what would you do?
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also a question of if the child wants to be raised by me. That's also a question.
She or he may not have a choice.
Oh, what? That's
Because
terrible.
if their parents, never mind. Okay, what I think what I would do is tell them to just shove themselves into one seat. Not all of them. I would try to. And definitely my first pick would be the child. I think what Jane said was pretty valid, but I just for a child to face that fear, I don't even want to imagine it. So I would pick up that child. And because the child is small, I think somebody could have them on their lap.
It's illegal. You can't
doesn't-
have a
I'm
1
going-
plus 1 deal.
Ain't no cop coming after me during a hurricane. The cop is hiding
Hiding where?
in his house.
Oh, okay, fine, fair enough.
So I would have to say, I would have to choose my lover, because
If you could start any ministry, not campus ministry, what would it be and who would it serve?
I would start an orphan ministry. I mean, I want to, so it's more like a I want to, not would, because I think that's something that God has planted in my heart. So I would pray that that does come to fruition one day.
For me, I think I would do a ministry that would serve the 1.5 generation.
Well, I say that because right now I attend a Korean American church, so there is a Korean ministry side, KM side, and then there's an EM side, English ministry side. And I think one of the things that a pastor said to me was he said, the 1.5 generation has a homework that we need to fulfill, which is to bridge the gap between the first gen Korean ministry and then the second gen Korean ministry. Second gen English ministry. And yeah, I just feel that there's such a gap that right now, you're either part of the Korean ministry or you go out and you want to be a part of like a totally multi-ethnic, totally like American English focused ministry. Because I think, there's always hurts. There's not always, but there's been hurts from being in that kind of divide. But, I think about the future and I'm thinking, what's going to happen to these first-gen Korean churches? They're just going to end up dying out. I can't imagine more Koreans like coming to America and like taking over the church. But I feel like the church needs to be taken over by the second gen.
And so if there could be a ministry, I don't know how we would do this, but that bridges that gap, gathers like 1.5 generation people who speak both Korean and English that would really desire to unite Korean and English ministry. I think that would be really cool.
What significance does friendships/relationships hold for you?
For me, I think relationships, not that it's everything, but I think it's one of the most important things that I have. And it's one of the things that make me feel very rich when I'm not financially rich. I think that having these relationships and friendships that I was blessed to have over the years, it makes me feel full. Yeah, and so they're actually very important to me.
Well, I feel like human beings are always striving to be accepted and belong to a part of a group. And it's probably a constant struggle. One may deny it, one may accept it, admit it, but I think it's true for everyone. It just takes place in their heart. And so therefore, I feel like friendships and relationships, the people that are in my life as friends or as my fiance, as my family, most importantly, I think God has given them to me so that I can feel that acceptance, so that I could feel the belonging. And that may not be the case for everyone, but for me, I have been blessed with that. So it holds a tremendous significance for me because that gives me that, like, first and foremost kind of need, that, acceptance and belonging.
That's good. Okay, we only have 3 or 4 questions left.
Wow. Wait, am I supposed to choose?
Wait, didn't you choose that one?
Oh, sorry.
Would you rather eat poop that tastes like vanilla ice cream or ice cream that tastes like poop?
Can I do neither?
That's disgusting. Oh, what a question to finish. That's so funny.
Can you die for your sister? Why or why not?
So if I say yes, but your answer is no, you're still going to be honest about it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, my answer is yes. And I thought about this because...
not fair, because you got to think about this before.
I know. I'm sorry. Like, Gina's... Yeah. Because I was receiving questions through my account. It's funny because the person who's giving this question, she also has an older sister. So we're kind of in, like, a similar place. For me, I would say yes because... I was thinking, like, let's say Gina was, like, dying because she needed, like, a lung transplant. And, like... You know, the only way she can live is if she receives a lung from me. And then, I don't know if people die from lung transplants. A heart transplant. If you...
Oh my gosh!
If you need a heart transplant. I'm not saying you need one right now. Calm down.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just imagining.
Yeah, but let's say that I needed to... Or, like, not I needed, but I was a good match for you to give my heart to. I think I would definitely pray and struggle. But I think I would do it.
My answer is no. Because I'm not thinking about transplant. I'm thinking about like what if someone came to Jane and put a gun to her head, and you know, like something like that. Not a heart transplant because I don't know if I could do that.
I'm so dramatic. Yeah, I don't know why.
I think a gun is also dramatic. But if somebody came and was like, "I'm gonna kill your sister right now," sorry, the action. I'm gonna kill your sister right now, okay, and if you, and then and then they're like, "Oh no, you can't do anything about it," and I'd be like, "No," and then like cover her. I don't know if I could do that. Like, I think that is it's not that I don't have the desire to do that. I think I'm a more practical person. Yeah. So I'm really thinking, like, what would I really do in the situation? But I feel like I would never know what I would do in that situation until I'm in there, in that situation. Because right now I could be like, oh, yes, definitely, I could die for Jane. Because theoretically, I can. Because she's my sister, and she's younger. So according to her logic with the hurricane question... then she has more days to live.
She has just 4 more years.
She used to live more than me. I've already lived 4 more years. So even using that logic, I would just give that life to Jane. I could say that so easily, but if I'm in that situation, would I be able to do it? I don't know. But please don't try us because I don't want to know ever. I don't not ever want to know.
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to try us, please. No. Yeah, terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. Okay. That's all the questions. So, actually, we're going to deliberate and choose the winning question.
Thank you so much for all these questions. Very thought-provoking. Thank you for riddling my brain. Yeah, so
Oh, these are the questions that you liked. Why are you whispering? First of all, they can hear. Second of all, I'm not gonna put this in.
When I whisper, you can edit it out.
I'm so confused.
One eternity later.
All right, we finished deliberating, and we had 5 candidates, and that was pretty hard to choose. And so because it was so hard, we chose 2 winners. And the first one is... Ta-da! It is Kian with the question, if you each got to live as the other sister from her perspective, what's one thing about her you might start to appreciate more? Yay! Thanks, Kian. Such an interesting question.
I think she just threw that question to you, and she just threw your question on the floor.
No, sorry.
Yeah, I think she knew. I think you knew, Kian. You watching, right? I think you knew that we don't appreciate each other enough, so had us think about it. and I guess it was really suitable for this because we're doing it together.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. And then the second winner is... Ta-da! What does your joy look like today?
Yay!
It was such a sweet question given to us by Judy Minju Yang, who is, by the way, like one of the most talented film creators.
Maybe Judy should edit this video.
Maybe she should, because she's so good.
If you want to win that ice cream.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kidding.
You can't pay her with ice cream. She's really, really gifted. Her content is really cute and funny. She's in high school, by the way, so...
My student.
Yeah. She's just gonna do even greater things.
So, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys for all your questions. I'm so excited to deliver your ice cream.
Sorry we couldn't choose all 20. That would have taken us 40 something hours to make all of them. Sorry.
To make all the ice cream?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have. That would have been terrifying.
What a wonderful
Follow. Ooh, me!
Nearly double of it.
And you.
Jane and Ali. Thank you guys for watching.